Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully you're having a lovely day because it's going to be a grim day for some other people. Yeah, you can tell by Rimuru laughing his head off. So a lot of things happening today. I just want to tell you what you're going to see in this video. We will be talking about the restriction list. We will be talking about Bang Dream 5th anniversary being released on JP's side. We're going to talk about Mushoku Tensei. We're going to talk about Springfest, and we're going to talk numbers when it comes to those restricted sets and who will actually do well from it. So with that, we're going to go on. Right now you can see Rimuru laughing because he knows that, you know what, it's the year of the slime. 2022, year of the slime, or at least for a couple of months, once this, unless the restriction list gets updated. But for now, he's living it up. And one of my commenters, Max Verity, his deck, so he's living it up too. There's a few people that were talking about Data Live and Kaguya from my comments on the restriction list. I think they're going to be pretty sad. Some people are going to be happy since they don't have to play with it because the announcement is updated, and here it is. So restriction list, effective April 1st, 2022. So make sure you know that to make your deck finalizations, I guess, for Springfest, because Springfest is coming and you don't want to be stuck with a bad deck. So what we have here is Data Live. This was no surprise to anybody. If you go out here to Weiss Tea Time, there were stats for Bro, and when you take a look at Data Live, right, like if I just scroll through here, not knowing much, this is top 8, you can just see how Kurumi's half of her face is covering the screen, or at least the pie chart anyways. And so for this is a quarter. Anyways, the restriction hit Data Live, no surprise to anybody. I know some people were hoping that Kurumi would be left out. She was not. She's limited up to 2 copies. I think this is a sign. They want you to max rarity the deck. I'm just joking, by the way. But plus side is, if you wanted to max rarity your deck, you only need 2 copies. So there you go, saves you a little bit of money. There is the choice restriction, choose 1 of 3, a little bit different from the JP side. Again, this is from Weiss Tea Time. I have here that My Little Shido event was also part of the choice restriction. And the English side, that is not showing up there. Next thing we have is Kaguya Love is War. This is an exact copy from the JP side. There she is, Kaguya Love is War. Effectively, that hurts the deck pretty decently. I mean, I like the K. And then I guess you can, there's, people have already done this where they swapped it out, right? Like if this happened in JP and the exact 1-for-1, there are other decks out there for it that show the replacement of Chica if you want to keep K and all that good stuff. Anyways, it's pretty sucky. It's pretty sucky. I said that all along about the whole investment into Kaguya. It's good until you get hit with a restriction, and this is what happened today. Okay, so it's been hit with a restriction. The thing is, I know there's this a lot of talk about like Data Live. Like Data Live made sense to a whole lot of people because I'm just gonna scroll down here, right? So up above was your top 8 representation and overall. But this is the representation over all regions. So if you take a look here, we have Data Live just a little bit above 20%. It was 20.4% to be exact of what you would have saw in the actual tournament itself. But then when you look at over the top 8s, over the 3s, so top 24 representations, Data Live was there 40-something% of the time, which makes sense. You still have like the restriction is going to happen and they want to promote healthy gameplay, meaning to me was they want to see other decks used. They want to like disperse the amount of decks. Then okay, then right here Data Live makes a lot of sense actually. But then what doesn't make sense to me is we have Slime, Ruby, and Kaguya, Fate, and Sword Art Online. So as you can see here, what we have, and they must have used more data points. I would hope they used more data points, but you can see Slime was represented more, and the top representation just a little bit under. Kaguya, though, is almost matching Slime for the total representation, but the top 28 a little higher. And then if we go down here to SAO, SAO is right here on representation, almost matching. It might have matched. There you go. I'm not going to count, but you can see. Here's a chart, pretty, and you could say it for a different reason. So I don't know if it's just because Kaguya was used a fair amount of times and the representation is there, or maybe that it is a strong deck. We knew it was a strong deck, but we have SA over here, we have Slime over here. So there. To me, when this restriction list was announced, I was hoping of one of two things would actually happen. You just hit Data Live by itself, or you hit a couple of decks, couple, few, whatever grouping descriptor you want to use here. But I did not want to see just Data Live and Kaguya, just because, right? What's going to fill the void? The void is going to be filled with, I guess, Slime. You're going to see potentially Sword Art Online, and you're definitely going to see Mushoku Tensei. So that really doesn't like broaden the thing. It's going to just make people pick new ones, which happens in every card game. I get it. I could see Data Live, but with the amount of Kaguya, I don't understand that all too much. Just because of, I mean, the chart doesn't lie, right? Like we have these numbers, so I don't know. I think as people deal with this, grasp with this, then we start asking ourselves, because the Data Live one made sense, right? But now you're going like, ah, geez, because I've already seen people say it. I said it in my video. Hilariously enough, hilariously enough, we have Data Live and Kaguya Volume Sets 2 being announced on the JP side, and people are like, it's kind of convenient that that happened, and now we're seeing a restriction list, because obviously more than likely what's going to happen is Data Live and Kaguya Volume 2 is going to fill those holes that this restriction has left behind when it comes to the JP side. Like you would think so. I don't think they would say, let's just make these set trash just to sell it because it's the IP. I think it's going to help fill in the void of like what got taken away here. It's not going to make them again all super powerful and like broken that they have to be restricted again, because that would be stupid too. At the same time, it should supplement them and get them like back on track, I guess you could say, a little bit more competitive after the restriction. But now that we have this and like I guess you could say the controversy of it, that's where we're gonna land. Okay. Next up, Springfest. Speaking of Springfest, we have prizes. Yo, freaking prizes. So prizes you get just through walking through the door, apparently. All participants will receive one double-sided center marker and one deck case. So that's pretty cool. While supplies last though, while stocks last though, I don't know what that truly means. Just because there is 2 days for this event, right? There's a Saturday and a Sunday. Weiss is on Sunday, I believe, on all cases. So I'm gonna hope that means that there's enough for the people that are playing Weiss or coming for Weiss or something like that. Wouldn't that be kind of terrible when you think about it? If you show up there on Sunday and they literally run out of them, unless they put, I guess, the Weiss ones on the side. I'm not really sure. Each player will receive one copy of Bushiroad Springfest 2022 participation. So we have all these lovely cards, and again, while stocks last, so make sure you come early, I guess, and go get it. The big one for me is this Mami, Sumi, Chizuru, and Ruka. When I first took a look at this, I'm like, you get this Rudius one, and I'm like, yeah, all right. I mean, I was like, that should have been flipped. But then you scroll down, and top 8 teams will receive this one, the one that matters. Well, actually, this one, the one that matters, with a little bit of some foiling on there. There we go. So I like it, right? The sucky part is, I think if you walk through the door and you know you're not going to be top 8, you probably want to get this one for free, like switch these around and have the Rudius down there for the top 8 teams. But it's a nice card. It should do pretty well on the aftermarket. There's these Vanguard ones. I'll talk about Vanguard, but that one looks cool. This thing. Idols are defined by their individuality. That actually looks pretty cool. So anyways, scrolling down, top 4 teams get a certificate, top 3 teams. You get this Chizuru. I wish it would have been a different card, but I guess I'll take it. Congratulations. I'm not going to win one of those, but obviously, because I'm not playing, but there we go. And lastly, winning team gets the 2020 champion PR card. And because I was like, oh, what's going on here? Here we go. We got this. Springfest 2020, you got an Alice, which would be pretty cool to see. Especially, I don't know if they're, I know they wrote here 2022 2020 PR. I don't know if that actually means this is the 2020 and 2022 card, because I think it's just weird. I feel like then there should be two cards or something, that should be there. Just because this thing is literally stamped with 2020, unless they're gonna write 2022 on here. It's just odd to me because if I look through life and look through my trophies, I wouldn't want to have a trophy that says Springfest 2022 looking back, and then I look through my record book and I'm like, we never played Springfest 2020. It almost feels like if this really is the actual card that wins, that man, I don't want to say laziness. It's nice to have this card and the design. I would just say change it to 2022. You're just trying to save money or something. I'm gonna stop talking because we'll see. Maybe that'll change or something. But I don't like it if this thing is gonna say 2020 and that's it. You get what I mean? Because you played this in 2022. That's kind of like one more thing. It's like playing baseball and then getting like a golf trophy instead. If they give out trophies in golf, like it's you won, but you didn't win, like because the year is wrong. Okay, he's moving on, moving on. Next thing, Bushiroad is also requesting for event staff. Not requesting, but you can apply to work as staff. We are looking for those individuals who are responsible, passionate, and enjoy working as a team for our event staff. Staffs will be compensated by hours they work, lunch, and will receive an event staff t-shirt to keep, which is pretty cool. I mean, there's some people that want to go to Springfest that don't have a team. This is maybe their first year thinking about playing Weiss Schwarz, and you just want to get involved, right? I think that would be really cool to see that. You're probably passing out cards and stuff. I wonder if you get a PR card too, right? As in one of these for attending, like you were attending. So I would imagine you get a PR card. So the people that don't have a team and all that and want to go and don't and want to actually have these PR cards, they might give you that. That makes sense to me. Like you walk through the door while stocks last, you walk through the door, so you may be able to get one of those. So I think if you want to work for them during this event, it's pretty cool. I did bring up this actual server, so it's like a Google document that you have to do. Obviously, you're going to be giving your name, email, phone number, what you want to do, what can you judge, not judge, and the location you're going to be at. What days are you able to work? The reason why I'm showing this and scrolling down is because of this. Make 100% sure that you are COVID-19 vaccinated. Remember, as we saw with the regulations on this page, so on here is regulations. There are COVID-19 guidelines, which basically at this point seem like you needed to be vaccinated, you need to show proof of vaccination, and you also have to wear a mask. So if you're going to sign up for this, make sure you're cool with that. Again, we're not going to have that discussion if this is right or wrong or anything like that. We all have our opinions on it, but we're going to leave it at that, okay? Because we're just going to leave it at that. It's just one of the things I'm making you aware of. If you want to sign up, you got to have that stuff, okay? All right. Now we are moving on to 5th anniversary of Bang Dream. I want to just hit this real quick. It came out today. The reason why is we had a release of extra boosters in January, and more than likely we're going to see this 5th anniversary here on the English side as well. So these cards are pretty gorgeous. I definitely love them. I mean, they look really cool. Obviously, the only one I hate is this one. Michelle, we need Misaki in here. Give me Misaki. But as you can see, cards look really, really nice. Freaking nice. And I want to show the prices. So right away, you're going to think that some of the cards on English side is like insane. We know Yukina. Yukina is huge. Look at this thing. Remember, so to do this, I don't use any sort of conversion from yen to US dollars. Not doing anything. All you do is lob off 2 zeros because I'm lazy and I'm not going to convert. We get 3480. 3,480 roughly. It'll be less than that, but roughly USD. So if you think like some of these cards coming out for English was amazingly high and all that, you have this Yukina here that is going to prove you wrong. every time because it's just a nice, very, very nice card. Has a voice actress that is very well known, and there we go. So there it is. It's always going to be high. And you can see like across the board, these are your SSPs. They're pretty huge. So we got 248, 498, 198, 998, pretty huge. When you scroll down to the actual SPs that are not signed by them, it has the actual character name on it. A lot lower, 3048. This reminds me of the extra booster, right? Like where you have OFRs, and then I know these aren't, just imagine this is the extra boosters. The OFRs were like down in this price range, right? And then the SPs from the extra boosters were higher up. Didn't sell as many, and it's not this high, but they were higher up. So that's what it reminds me of. It'll be interesting to see, and why I'm scrolling through this and showing this is because we know with the extra boosters from January, it didn't do as well. They're not selling as good, like with the SPs and all that stuff. But on the JP side, as you can see, people actually do buy this stuff and actually do enjoy it. So you have plenty of space out there for this. This is nuts. 3480. Okay, anyways, moving on. It is Mushoku Tensei release day. We're gonna hit that. We're gonna talk about it. And this is sorted by market high to low. Main thing to look at here is, let me hit refresh because I know it's ever changing. What we have out here is the current sales for this, and there isn't too much stock yet, so let me just throw that out there. This is too early. I normally don't even cover this stuff this early on, but it's only been my time zone 7 hours since this has officially released, but that doesn't mean people actually have product in hand, so a lot of stuff came out too early. What I told you yesterday was make sure you use Yuyute as kind of a judge here for how much these things are going to be worth so that you can compare. The Japanese side and the English side don't match one for one. There's like ratios to it, like English will be slightly higher, same. With Bang Dream, it was under. It was under that number for some of these cards, like roughly under there. And then what we got is the big one. We got the Roxy SP. This is from your trial deck. And this one blows my mind. Like as in, see, look at that. I hit refresh. I hate this thing. See, look. If I hit refresh, it says one listing. If I click in here, there's two. You tell me what's happening here. I don't know. It's not my cookies or whatever. It's just that it takes some time for a TCG player to update, I've seen. Like yesterday I was watching some of these prices happen and it takes some time. So we have Lonely Eyes, Scornful, Unfriendly That's kind of a crazy name anyways. Lowly, Scornful Eyes, Unfriendly Roxy. That's messed up. Anyways, people are going to tell me right away that, oh my god, look at these prices, it's insane. I'm going to tell you that this is day one. This always happens where there's always going to be people that buy really, really high, and there's going to be people that buy really, really low or sell really low. It happens no matter what. I can show you multiple examples of Mushoku Tensei, what happened yesterday, that there were cards that went under, and this happens with every release, right? People just put it out there to get rid of it. People throw it up there just to hope to God that someone buys it that high. It's one of those ones where I don't take first day as any sort of trend. I don't even take like first like month to be like the actual trend. And the reason I say that is because we have Rent a Girlfriend here. We have Cheese Brew. I know people are like celebrating that this thing is like $949, $999. I'm gonna just show you a graphic, and the graphic is here that there is only 4 card sales, right? So when you think about it, when this first came out, which was February 11th, right? Was that 1 month ago? Was that a Friday? Yep, February 11th. So first day it came out 700, 849, 999. It always goes that way, and there's not a whole lot of stock on this. And I'm going to point out that you could see this from quintessential quintuplets. It happens every freaking time. So you'll see 625, and then over time it goes up. In this case, it was like within a few days. But the thing is, with Chizuru here, we only got 4 card sales on TCG Player. With Quince, we got 6 here. You should see Nino. Nino. Look at that thing. Look at that giant list of actual cards. Can you imagine someone actually sold this for $300? It's pretty nuts. And that's what I mean about the whole first day sales of cards. When it comes to SPs, like you need to watch out first day because some people are really, really trying to get rid of these things because they just want to make their money back or make a little bit of profit, and other people are in it for the long term. And you can see there's a lot of actual sales that happened along the way. So when people talk about prices and all of this stuff, I would then say is it's hard to compare because you have the supply and demand. There's from what I've been seeing is there are definitely cards. I'm not going to name said cards, but there are sign cards, foil cards that have been targeted. I've also seen people slowly release cards as you are supposed to do. If you remember all these talks about double rares and things like that, it's one thing to like sell double rares. It's another to put like 100 up at a time because people can live with undercutting and they'll try to match you at some points if you have like three, four, eight cards, something like that. When you throw up a huge amount of numbers, just vomit out cards, that's when people like massively undercut you because if they don't, they're gonna that one seller is gonna soak up all the supply of people that want to buy this, all the demand. Right? You can only absorb so many of these. What I've seen from this Chizuru card, just to point out, was do you remember that there were actually three listings? There were not. Right? So as this thing was selling the past few days, more and more started appearing, right? So it's one of those ones where if people can't, they don't all list them up. And these probably, I can't say for sure. I would imagine these weren't all pulled just, this week. Maybe they were, who knows? But that's what tends to actually happen, right? More and more sellers come in. Not too long ago, I showed this card, Messing Around Rumia and Sistine. So Messing Around Rumia and Sistine was all the way up to $14. But then, as people started realizing that, hey, by the way, this card, maybe my video did it, I don't know. But as this card was at $14 and people started noticing that, more supply comes in, which always tends to happen. And you can see that here. We have 28, we have one, we have Japanese. I remember reading this one day. Japanese, brand new, straight from Bushiroad Practice Sleeve. Artwork is larger. And curious me, I clicked on it and I'm like, is it larger? I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell at all. I hate when it does that. It says view details, but when you click it, it doesn't work. You have to actually click the card. Or, I guess, hover over it. It looks the same to me. Alright, if I look where the trigger is, that's where, like, the piece of wood is cutting through. It's a saying. You're trying to bait me. Well, I guess you did, because I looked. But anyways, the artwork is not larger. You are lying, sir. King of Games Gaming. I think you're lying. Oh, if it is bigger and the picture is not showing it, then I apologize. But from what I'm looking at here, it looks about the way, actually. You mean the bottom of the card? I really want to know now. So the underwear cuts through the text box at the bottom. No, I mean, I don't know. Okay, anyways. Wow, I took a minute to do that. You get my point. Right, you're going to have all these times where there's people that have these cards that are waiting to sell it to hit a certain price point because you start looking at your card, this one card, and then you look at the price it goes for. Let's say in this case $950, and then you think about the next sets coming up because you see this all the time. Go on Facebook. How many times have people said, I'm never going to sell this card. This is my card. It's my waifu for life. And then it goes, oh shoot, Hololive's coming out or Tokyo Revengers coming out. I need money so that I can buy it. It's one of those ones where you can tell me all day that there's no price for a card, but I've seen it time and time again that there is a price for a certain card. And once it comes to that point, you start seeing people list it. So once it hit $8.49 and then thrown up for $9.99 and some person actually bought it for $9.99, then magically more people appear. And that's what we have here. So to me, like, it hasn't hit that point where I'm going to say this is the actual price. Not yet. Not yet, because not enough time has gone by and not enough product has fully been opened. And going back to this now, This is only 7 hours into the actual release, and we have a sale of 1400. So you see where there's always someone going to be buying on the first day, whether it's high or low, and this does not make a trend. The thing with this is the JP version, why I made it such a thing yesterday to show it was the JP version I was told had one SP in the trial deck case. One. You get Rudius or you get Roxy, or in the English version, it's an and. You're going to get Roxy and Rudius. So right there, you can see that we don't have the release numbers, like how much trial deck cases were sold from JP to English. But if it were 1-to-1, if that matched 1-to-1, then that means you have double the amount of Roxys out there. So should it really be selling in English for roughly $1,200, $1,500 when possibly there's double the supply? I don't know. Like you tell me. That's why I had it at 900. To me, I feel like if you're at $800, $900, that makes somewhat sense. But to be up here at 14, 15, 13.99 doesn't make sense. Keep in mind again, and that inside the case itself, to buy it, let's just say it was 800, 900, $1,000. You can even say $1,000 for the child deck. You're telling me when this is guaranteed inside of a case that you open this thing and you magically get a card and now your entire case is paid for, plus you get all this extra money for the trial decks, the triple rares, and the Rudius SP. That's just, this is the scenario where I'm going to point this out and people might be upset by it. Like when you talk about investors coming in and all that, this is why this happened, right? The whole investor thing and all that, people trying to flip for a profit. This is one of the cards that is the example. Back in the day, it was Terrible Spirit Karumi, right? Around the Data Live time. But that triggered, like, helped trigger, like, oh my God, you can make so much money from opening this stuff. This, to me, seems super unhealthy. Like, if you hate the idea of investors and flippers, this card really just reignites the fact that Weiss Schwarz can do that. And it's not good. This is not obviously what I wanted to see when I opened this today, is that it's 1400 and it's sold. Obviously, as we go on throughout the week, 2 weeks, we'll see what this turns out to be. But we have Roxy selling here, and then people go, oh my God, I can buy trial deck cases and pull out these SPs and just make my entire money back and have these trial decks. You're gonna have a spawning of like new horrible, like trying to sell people at higher prices and gouging each other, and just people being upset. Like we're gonna see that with Hololive more than likely as well. We're gonna see that with other things coming up. So this is a little sad for me, just because of what's going to happen and the way people are talking about it and pumping it up. To me, nowhere near should this thing be 1200 in the short term. It should be like 800, 900. And we'll see what happens when it comes out. Maybe the guy that bought 8 of these things, 8 of these child deck cases, he's going to just keep all of them for himself. If he doesn't, it's going to be dumped out. And the other one I'm going to point out here is, let's just go back to Rent a Girlfriend. Because we know that Chizuru, people love Chizuru, right? Remember this one? Rent a Girlfriend, Chizuru, TDSP. She was, there was double the amount because there was 2 in a case, but people were selling them for 500, 450. And look at the amount of sales. 3 sales, now down to 399. And that's what I would imagine happened with the Roxy. She ain't gonna drop down to 399, 400, nothing like that. But I can't imagine she holds these prices in the short term. I've said before, long term, anything happens on long term, right? Long term goes up. It only makes sense that it does. Over time, it goes up. But at the same time, the amount of people willing to buy it has obviously decreased as well. Oh, trade-off. Supply and demand. All right, moving on. All right, that was too long. Okay, Mushoku Tensei booster box, what we got here, 74.27. Obviously, first day. This is normally what I see around the first day. So I know people are like worried that this thing is going to be completely gone and all that. Potentially you may run into that, but if I scroll down here, We are on 11 listings, and there's 10 to 16, 66, 15, 16. So as more and more people come in and undercut, we've obviously seen these names over and over again. I don't have to hide or pretend they don't exist, but some of these people will definitely match prices, let's say, or keep going down, all the way down. So more than likely, I would imagine this thing end up in the 60s unless restriction list does something crazy. Right now, I don't know how many people were holding on to Data Live. Obviously, from the statistics, there was a decent number of people that play with Data Live and some that play with Kaguya. So if they're looking for a new deck, maybe they buy this. I feel like there's going to be enough stock out there of Mushoku Tensei. Don't hold me to that. If you're afraid of it, try to buy a playset or buy some double rares. Don't go nuts, but that's how I feel. Okay. With the trial deck displays, Dad, we are looking at $200. It is a known fact now that there is 2 SPs in there. Do you worry about mapping? Do you not? I don't know. But if you're going to attempt for the Roxy, I would at least tell you to buy the trial deck display. Would I buy it for 200? Heck no. I am not. For me personally, I am not gonna buy it in the secondary market at $200 because one, you don't know if it's mapped or not, and the other is that's an insane price. It really is. If you're just looking for a trial deck, just go ahead and wait for people to list the trial decks that are opened, or buy some singles of the trial deck, because like I said, this is going down. This was like $39 at pre-release. Now at release it's $31.60. See, there you go. Look at this thing. 38 bucks. Magic, $31. So you might wanna wait on that a little bit. The trial deck is good. You're gonna need 2 of them. Okay. They did not. TCG Player did not fix this where you have double rare plus. I pointed that out. You have these things are all over the place. So I wanted to first take a look at the actual sign cards, and we already did the Roxy. So there has been some sales yesterday going on. $350 on Roxy. We got Eris over here, $250. So there's the sales. Again, what I want you really to do is just take a look at Yuyute and compare. Before you go out there and make that purchase, at least use this as a little bit of a guide. Okay, it's not one for one, like right here, $248 on Roxy, and this one is $350. It was actually a good price yesterday. There was a good price. It was $275. That was really, really good. I've said that if you're in the market for SP foils or anything, you want to make sure you do that near the beginning. At least check over and over and over again, because you will have some times that there will be, I guess you would say, a discount. Where is Ghislaine? There she is. Yesterday I saw this for 110. 110. So take a look at this picture. We got it right here. Take a look at Yuyute, 59.80. To you, is this card a steal at $110? Right, just looking fundamentally at the card, not anything else. Was it a nice price? I think it was. I think 110 was a really good price. If someone would have put it at $90, heck of a steal. 110, pretty good. I don't know if I'd go 180 or 200. Obviously, there are Ghislaine fans and all that stuff, so who knows? You're going to have to compete with them, and this is still early on. We don't know what this is going to land, but my money is it's going to be above 110 2 months from now, 3 months from now. Definitely 110 was a good pickup, whoever got that one, okay? So go out here, SPs. There's not enough supply yet to just say use these prices, but there are some actual sales. There are definitely some that have not sold, or we haven't actually seen yet, right? We haven't seen the Future Guide Roxy. Rudius, obviously, I don't think is going to sell that many. Here's Rudius as well. Where's my Sophie? Where is she? People are like, you're blind, you're blind. Let me just go super special rare. I didn't have that up. So I know there was Sophie's, and I cannot find her. I want to say fix your stuff, but oh my god, there's so many SPs. This is not going to work. Dude, am I just freaking blind? No, here she is. I was like, she wasn't on that page, that's why. Okay, here's your SSP. Sophie. 300. There's 5 of them. No one's bought it yet. And so there's not enough of these. Look at this thing. Here she is. 128. A little high for me. Especially with an SSP, it's a little high. You can see on UUT there's 7 of them. So you can see, let me zoom in. You can see there's 7 of them. Definitely your, I guess, less desirable character when it comes to SPs. All right, so moving on, triple rares. I don't talk about this a lot, but being that this is a playable deck, right? This is a playable deck. Triple rares are going to be sought after. We have right, Demon Eye, triple rare, Air's Request, triple rare. These are your standby climaxes that you're going to want to play with, and it reflects, right? So people are going to want to max rarity this 20, 25, 25. Makes sense because if you take a look at UUTA, I missed triple rare, here it is. 3480 on the Eris, and we had, and that's one left. But Ghislaine here sold out at 1780. Oh, these things are going to be your higher ones, and that's the reason why it's sold out. You have your pants triple rare here, and that is going for, it did sell one for 12 bucks, basically $12. $17 is your lowest one, and if you take a look here, 1480 is what we got out on UUT, 9 of them. So roughly about right, I guess you could say, but there are 9 of them. It's not your choice pants is a playable deck, you know, like probably your second best deck. You could say choice and something else. You could do, I thought I heard standby pants, but more than likely you're going to see standby, you're going to see choice pants, and that's why the triple rare isn't the highest compared to Eris and the Ghislaine one, right, Demon Eye, okay? Okay, so overall, triple rare is definitely selling. SRs, your big one for SRs, and again, I put SR super rare here, but it's going to carry over some of these signed cards. I wish they fixed that. Anyways, Eris is your big one. The rest you need to check, okay? Because when you take a look at these, this is that moment where you could tell someone was just pricing it, just throwing it out there. They're like, this is an SR, it's $25. Because you could see 25, 25, 25, 25. There's just a bunch that got labeled at 25. And that's what happened. Oh, and by the way, so with the triple rares, my point to that was, again, first day sales, do you think $20 is an actual good deal for that card? Yeah, I'm just saying that in general. Do you think that's an actual really good price for that card? I think it was a really nice price. So people also took advantage of, let me just show you this promo Rudius right here. So people took advantage of this, $14.99 on it on UUT. This thing was, I thought it was in the 2480. 2480. So people took advantage of that one promo card. I don't know if I would have bought that. And the sole reason for why I say that is because of the promos could be in foil. Those are the ones that are being given away at the store level, local game store level. There are foil versions. So you can see right here, Rudius Gray Rat foil. If I were to buy a $15, $25 card, I would attempt to go for this one when they start showing up versus this one. And that's why I say that, because, you know, go for the gold, right? Go for the gold. Hope for the best, and if not, there's going to be some of these opened. I would imagine they will go down over time as more and more get open, which it will. Okay. That's all I really want to say about Mushoku Tensei. So again, just go out there, make sure you stay level-headed, stay within your budget. The Roxy is very expensive, but I think it's going to go down long term. Obviously, it's going to go back up as they start drying up. Oh, the other thing is, keep in mind, people buy this stuff out, right? Like what I meant back then when I say there was like limited product, I think part of it sometimes is there's limited product because I'm not saying there's a collaboration between two people or collusion or something like that happening here when I was showing the Rent a Girlfriend card. But there are times, I mean, sometimes it just works out that way that it comes out. But there is this thing as people buying out certain cards, right? That happens in Magic the Gathering. Not sure how much that happens in Pokemon, but in Weiss, I've seen it plenty of times where cards do get bought out. And if there is some guy that just has a ton of money that just buys them all up, he could literally prop up he or she, don't want to leave out the ladies, he or she can actually prop up the market and hold it to a certain amount. Right? So that's all I'm gonna say with that. Like it does happen. Trust me, it does happen. I've seen it. Okay, data live. Moving on. Restriction list. So as I said, I'm gonna throw this here in the back. Data live restricted. We know with these restrictions that slime should be okay. Mushoku Tensei should see some play as well. They're both really strong. People have slime. There's a reprint coming. Data live obviously is going to be hurt. Keep in mind here. Even though I'm going to show all of the double R's, or at least I'm going to just take a picture of them, like a set as a whole, like when you look at this restriction list, you have one double rare, right? Terrible Spirit Karumi is a double rare. We got a rare here, uncommon. My Little Shido was an uncommon, but what does that do to the overall price of the actual set? Like, even though this card right here is the one that got restricted, how are the prices going to react? The only two that we really care about would be Terrible Spirit Karumi and Reliable Spirit Kotori, just because the other ones are pretty far down there. As you can see, thanks to our lovely reprint. So that's where we're going to be looking at as recording what the prices. We already have it down to, I guess, 16. And that's not even a change. I think this is just someone undercutting at this point because it's 17.49. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how much of a rush people are to sell this, because at the same time, knowing that there's a restriction, how many people are willing to buy? It's like stock. You can't just sell your Apple stock and magically someone just buys it. Like, you don't just put your sell order in to sell your stock. Someone's actually got to buy it. So knowing that there's a restriction list out there, is someone willing to buy this card anymore? I don't know. When we take a look at the rares, like I just showed you, rares, there's only this For the Sky and Sword Toka, 105. It really doesn't matter, right? Like, rarities don't matter. Prices don't matter on the rares and below, I would say, just because of this. And the uncommons, My Little Shido over here. School Uniform Toka, and where's Yoshino? There she is, a Spring Moment Yoshino. So those are the three that were hit on this. Actually, not three. My Little Shido wasn't hit. School Uniform and a Spring Moment Yoshino were hit. 20 cents and 32, not including shipping. So there's really going to be no change to those cards. It's just going to stink a little bit overall. And you can just tell, like, My Little Shido, way to hang on there, buddy. It's 15 listings compared to like the 28, 34. Okay, so that's Data Live in a nutshell. And Terrible Spirit Kurumi, 650. So max rarity, like I said, you can do it now. There are, I guess, a 653 and a $700. Jeez, still high. Man, that reprint hurt it so bad. Anyways, moving on. Oh, and if you want to max rarity and you want to use the Force Sky and the Sword Toka, then you have your SRs here as well. The other two don't have SRs that go with it, so you're off the hook on that one. They don't have like SRs or SPs, I believe. Okay, next one is Kaguya, which hurts way more, because you have Supreme Bliss Chica and you have Serious Showdown Between Geniuses K, and you also have I Bestowing Courage, which is a rare. So overall, this deck gets hurt pretty badly. 1895 Supreme Bliss Chica. I remember when this was like almost completely sold out. There was like one listing left, and magically popped up a ton of them. This is doing really well too. Really well. I actually feel bad for like Kaguya, but we know set 2 not announced for English, but more than likely gonna come to English with this restriction. It was on a charge, $94.90 on the booster box. And I don't know, I honestly am a little disappointed with it, because it's just going to be the slime show is really what's going to happen here. And Supreme Bliss Chica, so why I have these up is I can't imagine anything happening to the SPs. I think if you bought an SP for $500, you're not gonna put it up here for 400. I can't see that happening. But I'm curious about prices, so there it is. Okay. I bestow encourage as an SR as well. $20, 20 listings. Okay, slime is going to get a nice little boost now that those are restricted. Um, I don't have Slime 1 up just because Slime 1 is going to be reprinted. I took pictures of that already, and more for the gold and silver signatures. So silver signatures in the reprint, gold on the original print for Slime 1. This is Slime 2. Just wanted to take a look at the prices here. The triple rares were pretty low. I mean, the big one is it's Delicious Meline is what you're going to be looking for when it comes out here, but everything else pretty low. You can definitely make a deck out of this sucker, and people definitely will when it comes to slime. So that is it. Mushoku Tensei and slime definitely got a huge boost. I know people are disappointed on what's happening. I know I was disappointed to see that there's only 2 things on this list. Not an exact copy from the JP one, but overall still a little depressing. Yeah, I mean that I think it's not depressing because I like Data Live or anything, or I like Kaguya or anything like that. I just, you know where this is going. You know this is going to slime. I was thinking like we were gonna see Beaufry, not on the restricted list, but we're gonna see more Beaufry or anything like more Beaufry. We're gonna see other obscure decks just like make a reappearance, but really, it's there's going to be bigger stuff coming out, and really this is just a replacement for Data Live and Kaguya until set 2 comes out, which might not be for another 6 to months to a year. It'll be a while before we actually see it, so that's why I'm a little sad about that. Just 'cause it's going to be more of the same. People gonna complain about the next set, which it makes sense to me. Because you're gonna get tired of playing slime, you're gonna get tired of playing against Mushoku Tensei. And but maybe this means some Beaufry will come out there. Beaufry's expensive. I thought I showed this not too long ago, but let's just show you double rare. See, Battle Craftsman is gone, Kanade gone. It's an expensive double rare set that you have to dig up here. Multicolored Sally, 1650. So hopefully we start seeing new decks. I hope when we go back here that the graphic isn't going to just be where's our lady? Here she is. That this thing, instead of saying Day Live, is gonna say slime, and this thing is gonna say Mushoku Tensei. Hope we don't see that. Anyways, have a happy Friday. Tomorrow is Community Survey Day. That's how I'm gonna name it. So that will be closed off tomorrow. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna have some fun with that, and have a happy Friday. Have a happy weekend if I don't get to hear from you. But let me know how you feel about all this that happened. There's so much stuff today. Have a wonderful weekend. As always, have fun, be happy, and don't spend anything outside of your budget. Do not buy that card at $1,500. That's insane. If you want to do something with it, what I would say, $1,500. If you had $1,500 and you're not rich, right? Like if you're trying to invest in something, buy a case of something. Buy a case of Hollow, buy a case of Pokemon, Magic, something. Or how about this? Invest in yourself. Do something fun. Do something life-changing. Pick up a new hobby, or like and workout equipment or something. I don't know. Or just take a friend out to dinner. I think that's pretty awesome. I think in the times we live in, not to go all life sappy on you right here, but we spend so much money on like our hobbies, like cards or things like that. You forget about the moment. I remember this one guy was asking a streamer that I was watching $1,000. He said he didn't have money to take his wife out for dinner, and he asked that guy for $1,000. I don't know, maybe they had like the most amazing night ever. But I remember when I was a poor college kid, and the girlfriend at that time, it was her birthday. You know what she really wanted? She just wanted to spend time. You don't gotta take people out to fancy places or do things or anything like that. You don't got to get this $1,500 card. yeah, just enjoy the moment. You know, go out there, have some fun, invest some time in you. I know this card looks really great. Maybe it's one of these things that you come back 10 years from now when you have a lot more money, more disposable income and get it. Yeah, it might be worth more in a few years from now, but at the same time, it's like don't put yourself in a hole. Enjoy the time. Don't like work tirelessly, endlessly just to get this one card. I don't think it's worth it in my eyes. Sometimes you just gotta be willing to give it up, right? Like and just have fun, like live the moment. So my whole point to that was again, um, some people don't want to have all the really really nice things in the world. Other people just want your time, and maybe just some French fries covered in gravy. That's pretty cheap, right? Obviously, you get that at a diner. You don't get that at like at a five-star restaurant. Anyways, have fun. Take it easy. Oh, and if I ever do see you, maybe you save some of that $1,500 to buy me a beer. I think that would be pretty cool. Actually, we drink the menu. Me and my boss, I'm seeing ex-boss. I'm seeing her at the end of the month. We drink the menu. We drink the menu. So if I ever do see you, save some of that 1,500 for me. We drink the menu down. Okay, it'll be awesome. It'll be a fun time. I think that's a more valid use of money than just spending 1,500 on a card. I'm not trying to put down people's hobbies or like their price points on cards. I just think that $1,500 is a lot of money, and unless you have a lot of it, maybe you save that, right? Do something else with it. Um, so, man, this is me being sappy and stuff like that. There's so many stories I would love to tell you all about like life and just money and all this stuff and like the troubles of money and greed and all that. It's just I've seen so much of it. And at the same time, like with what's happened over the past couple years, like the lack of like seeing people and doing things and making those memorable moments and all that, just to spend it all on one card seems to be I'm not being judgy or anything like that. Seems like a little bit of a waste, I think. But we all have our things that we love in life. If you're rich enough to buy like 10 of these, feel free. I think that's amazing. I mean, I would love to just. Can you? I'm looking at my wife put this backsplash on the kitchen in the kitchen. Like I didn't really care for it. It costed like $1,000 or something. I don't know how much it costed. I mean, it looks cool and all that, but can you imagine? Um, Having these things, these SPs, like not just Roxy's, but all of them, just like tiled up on your wall. I know people have like these little shrine things going on, but literally every inch of your wall is covered with Weiss Schwarz SPs or something like that, or Pokemon or whatever the heck you like. I think it would be amazing to see these over like 50 million Charizards, but to have different SPs over their phone. Imagine the Fang Dream ones. Holy crap. Just tiled on your wall. Like all these different ones, especially that premium booster. I mean, there's no signatures on it, but since they all link up together, hand-wise, like art-wise, I thought that would be really, really cool if you line them up. I think they need to do more of these lineup things, right? Like if you see this one, can you imagine if these all lined up together? That would be pretty cool. Actually, no. Wait, does that Kokoro go with Hagumi? Like her cape? Uh, no, I don't think so, because I don't see a guitar crossing over. Yeah, that was a little sad, because or this is Hagumi's cape. Man. I thought this is Kokoro's cape for a second. But anyways, that would be cool to see plastered on your wall. Um, it's just people spend money in different ways, and if you could afford it, great and all that. If you can't, it's always a good thing to have a goal in life. Like I've always seen it. Like mine is retirement, paying off the house and retiring and all that good stuff. Other people want to get cards. It's great. I mean, you can't have it all. If you have it all, you're not going to be happy in life. And that's what they always say about having money. I would rather have more money than not. I'm pretty sure I'd be happier with money that I don't have to worry about working and all that versus not. But I don't know. Maybe rich people got it rough or something. That's what I hear. I don't know. Anyway, see ya. Take it easy. Talk to you tomorrow.